Today we're going to show you how the process needs to proceed to change out the casters on one of the mini mobile displays, mobile minis in the post office. First, the parts that you're going to need, the tools. In addition to a cordless drill, you will absolutely need a 5/16 inch nut driver that you can put into your cordless driver. 5/16 inch. You'll also need a 3/16 diameter drill bit. All right, the whole essence of this job is taking this very heavy unit, safely tipping it so that we can swap out the little casters and put on a new heavier caster. Despite the weight of the unit, it's surprisingly easy if you follow this process. Janie, if you'd do that for us. What Janie's doing first is moving the unit a little bit, drawing it towards her, which swings the casters away from her. It's important that you did that first so that she can now safely tip it. And what she's done is gotten the unit, she stops once the board here contacts the ground. And Janie, if you can take your hands away, you can see that the unit is safely balanced. However, we want to have one person always hold this unit. It's too heavy to leave balancing. Notice also the cards don't fall out of it, so you don't have to remove cards on either side of this thing. But I failed to point out at the beginning, Janie had the tiers facing her. Had she had the tiers on the sides, all the product would have slid. So before you tip, make sure that the tiers are facing you and away from you. The wire pockets are on the sides. So here we are, spun. Each caster has 4 screws holding it in. The driver will take out the screws and we will reuse the same screws to put the new caster on. And the only thing of note here is, of the 4 screws, there is a short one on the outer, on every corner. There's a short screw. The other 3 are much longer. So what we're going to do is when we remove a caster, these are already the big casters, but had this been a small one I had just pulled off, I take the small one, set it aside, put the new one, the big one, on, and I line up the outer corner using the small screw, and I put it in the same hole it came out of. So when you go back in, this becomes your alignment. Small screw to the outside corner. Tighten up the plate just enough to hold it. Make sure it's square. I've got the plate lined up this way and this way, and now the plate is my template. I'm going to drill with the 3/16 inch bit. I'm going to drill 3 holes through the caster using this as a template. You don't have to worry about going too deep. You can't go through anything, and get them made nice and new and deep. For the other 3 screws, you can snug all of them up. Make sure they're tight, of course. We're ready to go. Now Janie we do that 2 times, then return the unit upright. Notice she's using her foot to brace it so it doesn't slide. What will always happen in this case is, by tipping it, you will have inadvertently engaged a lock. So you want to find the locking caster, make sure it's off. Now what we do is Janie would come around to this side. Why don't you do it, Janie? Pull the unit towards her again to orient these casters safely, okay. Now she can tip. And I could do the swap on the other side. Remember the short screw to the outside corners, whether it's on the left or the right, to create the template with the new caster. Drill for the big screws, and you're ready.